Have you ever felt that whisper within you, an ancient shadow pushing you to confront something deep and unknowable? Picture this. For centuries, scholars, mystics, and common folk alike have spoken of a powerful being that reigns over the darkness within us, a being known as Abaddon. Who exactly is this enigmatic figure that holds dominion over our fears and hidden thoughts? The answer may surprise you. Abaddon symbolizes not just destruction, but also the crucial journey toward inner transformation and healing. Join me as we unravel the mysteries surrounding this entity and discover how confronting our shadows can lead to divine blessings. And hey, before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe and let us know in the comments where you're from or how Jesus has transformed your life. Remember, Jesus is with you and may He bless you abundantly today. As you immerse yourself in the exploration of Abaddon within the biblical and Judeo-Christian context, you'll discover a character often shrouded in mystery, yet deeply rooted in Scripture. Abaddon, whose name stems from the Hebrew Abaddon, meaning destruction or ruin, embodies a multidimensional figure appearing in both the Old Testament and the apocalyptic visions of the New Testament. This journey into the depths of biblical texts will not only reveal Abaddon's enigmatic nature, but also offer insights into his divine purpose as depicted in Scripture. In the Old Testament, Abaddon is referenced as a place rather than a sentient being. Here Abaddon signifies a realm of destruction and desolation, intertwined with the concept of Sheol, the underworld or the abode of the dead. This portrayal positions Abaddon as an abstract dimension, emphasizing the theme of ultimate ruin, where the path leads those who diverge from divine righteousness. Job 26.6 and Proverbs 15:11 reference this realm, struggling to contrast the fate awaiting the wicked and the godly, highlighting the inescapable presence of God's omniscience even in the deepest abyss. When you transition to the New Testament, particularly the Book of Revelation, Abaddon's image transforms from a conceptual realm into a formidable being, a pivotal figure in the unfolding apocalyptic narrative. Revelation 9:11 unveils Abaddon, now called by his Greek name Apollyon, meaning destroyer, portraying him as the angel of the abyss. This dramatic shift introduces Abaddon as a leader, commanding a legion of locust-like creatures whose mandate is strict, to inflict torment upon those lacking the seal of God. You might wonder why such a being, often perceived as fearsome, features prominently in divine prophecy. Herein lies the complexity of Abaddon. He acts not out of inherent malice, but as an executor of divine justice. He embodies an aspect of God's judgment, enforcing consequences for those who defy divine edicts. In the grand design of apocalyptic literature, entities like Abaddon serve as reminders of divine sovereignty, illustrating how even the forces of destruction serve a higher cosmic order. It's crucial to understand that Abaddon's role is intricately tied to the broader narrative of divine retribution versus mercy. His actions, though severe, are a reflection of God's impartial justice. This duality, punishment against irredeemable, wrong and protection for the faithful, offers you a portrait of a deity who maintains cosmic balance, ensuring that evil ultimately succumbs to divine will. Moreover, this depiction underscores a recurring biblical theme: the transient nature of earthly power and the inexorable march towards divine fulfillment. Abaddon's actions signal the onset of an era where temporal authorities crumble under the weight of their defiance against God, clearing the path for the ultimate realization of God's kingdom on earth. His presence serves as a harbinger of a new beginning, a necessary purification before renewal can commence. This exploration of Abaddon is not simply an examination of wrath and retribution. On a more abstract level, he embodies the ongoing battle within the human soul, a struggle between spiritual unrest and the quest for redemption. Abaddon's presence in Scripture invites you to reflect upon your choices, urging a life aligned with divine instruction to escape the chaos from straying too far from God's path. As you continue examining Abaddon's role in demonology and occult practices, you'll observe how interpretations of his persona expand beyond biblical texts. Yet, within the Judeo-Christian framework, Abaddon remains a powerful symbol of transformation. through divine orchestration. This chapter, while unraveling the mystery surrounding Abaddon, prompts a deep introspection of one's spiritual journey within the cosmic drama depicted in Scripture, urging you towards a path of faith, contemplation, and understanding that transcends mere theology into a profound engagement with the divine truth. In the realm of demonology and the occult, Abaddon's multifaceted nature reveals itself with both complexity and depth, distinguishing him from the ranks of other infernal princes. Unlike the more singularly maleficent depictions of demons often found in popular lore, Abaddon stands out as an enigmatic figure whose influence stretches beyond mere chaos, touching upon profound ethereal elements that bridge divine justice and existential introspection. Within the realm of classical demonology, texts such as the Dictionnaire Infernal, penned by Colin de Plancy, and Giovanni's De Demonologia offer rich detail into the character and duties of Abaddon. These works situate him as not merely a force of destruction, but as one with the specific mandate to dismantle systems of deceit and falsehood. In this light, Abaddon is not seen as promoting aimless devastation, but rather as facilitating a destructive process with a purpose, the unveiling and purging of untruths that obstruct authentic understanding. Among his attributes, a set of keys is notable. These keys symbolize his dominion over the infernal abyss, not just as a ruler but as a guardian of gateways between realms. It's a position of authority and responsibility, suggesting his role as an intermediary between worlds and states of being. In such positions, the symbols associated with Abaddon take on profound significance. The broken crown, for instance, serves as a potent emblem of his relationship to power structures. It reflects both the futile authority of false kings and the liberation from such limiting paradigms. Through these symbols, Abaddon is positioned as a cosmic inquisitor, a being keenly attuned to the hidden nooks of the human psyche and the cosmos at large. His presence stirs one's deepest fears and buried guilt, not as a tormentor, but as a facilitator of inner revelation and transformation. Modern interpretations of Abaddon within occult practices build upon these foundational roles, incorporating ideas from contemporary self-exploration and psychological frameworks. Within these practices, Abaddon emerges as less of a feared punisher and more as a stern yet benevolent teacher, aiming to test and refine the essence of one's soul. Encountering. Abaddon's influence is likened to a harrowing trial, where individuals face the mirrored truths of their character and intentions. It is in this character-testing role that he serves as a critical gatekeeper to personal evolution. The trials put forth by Abaddon confront individuals with the shadowed aspects of their self that they might otherwise ignore or deny, thereby aligning with Jungian principles of individuation, where integration of the shadow self leads to wholeness. This nuanced view of Abaddon aligns with a broader theme found in occult studies, where the journey through darkness and the facing of one's fears is often seen as necessary to achieve true enlightenment or spiritual growth. Just as the alchemical process involves breaking down elements to foster transformation, encountering Abaddon embodies a spiritual alchemy, stripping away illusions to reveal hidden truths and potential within the practitioner. Yet, the complexity of engaging with Abaddon is not limited to personal metamorphosis. In communal and systemic contexts, his role as a destroyer of false systems becomes more evident. Historically, movements that sought to challenge entrenched doctrines or societal norms have sometimes evoked Abaddon as a symbol of necessary upheaval, championing the cause of truth and authenticity against oppressive or deceitful frameworks. Thus, Abaddon transcends individual relevance and participates in broader cosmic and societal evolutions, recognized by collective recognition of the need for change. Consequently, his presence is acknowledged in various ritualistic practices within occult traditions, where invoking Abaddon is performed with a profound understanding of the serious and potentially life-altering nature of such attempts. Practitioners seek his guidance when aiming to dismantle personal and universal fallacies, apprehending the inherent risks as well as the transformative rewards. In summary, the depiction of Abaddon in both classical and modern demonology emphasizes his distinction from other demonic entities, not purely through malevolence, but rather through his role in the rectification of truth and the purification of the corrupt. He is a figure who challenges one's assumptions and compels confrontation with the deeper, sometimes hidden aspects of existence, encouraging growth, clarity, and transformation within the practitioner and beyond into the fabric of systemic truth. In the world of esoteric symbolism, Abaddon emerges as a complex figure, wrapped in layers of mystery and steeped in diverse intercultural archetypes. As you delve into the rituals and symbols that define this enigmatic entity, you begin to see how Abaddon encapsulates themes of destruction that lead to rebirth, a common thread woven throughout many spiritual traditions. This symbolic representation anchors him deeply within the rituals of ceremonial magic, where the process of invoking such powerful beings becomes an engagement with profound transformative experiences. Abaddon's symbolic likeness can be found in various cultures, each adding depth to his archetype. In ancient Egyptian mythology, the god Set embodies similar destructive energies, often associated with chaos and disorder, yet crucial for the continuity and renewal of the world. Similarly, in Hindu tradition, the deity Kali, who is both a destroyer and a nurturing force, embodies the cycles of death and regeneration. These comparisons reveal that Abaddon, like these deities, serves as a bridge connecting destruction with renewal, death with rebirth, a duality that is essential for spiritual and material transformation. In the realm of Western ceremonial magic, especially traditions such as Gitya and Enochian magic, evoking Abaddon involves engaging with rituals that are both intense and deeply transformative. These practices pivot on the delicate balance between order and chaos within the practitioner's inner and outer worlds. Rituals designed for the evocation of such powerful entities are not casual affairs. They initiate profound internal change and often challenge practitioners to confront their deepest fears and insecurities. Participants in these rituals often report experiences of intense emotional upheaval or existential crises. While these might seem daunting, they fulfill a greater purpose as tools for spiritual initiation rather than mere curses. During these rituals, participants might endure visions that reveal their inner turmoil, a necessary confrontation that invites them to transcendasa incomplete formed their limiting beliefs. This cathartic process mirrors the alchemical transformation, where lead transmutes into gold through the processes of calcination and dissolution, symbolic of deconstructing old forms for the possibility of new, higher forms emerging. The alchemical nature of Abaddon's symbolism highlights a critical aspect of spiritual transformation. Destruction is not antithetical to creation, but rather its precursor. For those who seek spiritual enlightenment, the presence of an entity like Abaddon serves as a guide through the metaphorical abyss, paving the way for the spiritual rebirth that arises from facing and understanding their own darkness. In this light, Abaddon's role transcends mere destruction, embodying the potential for profound introspection and personal growth. In the symbolic language of esotericism, Abaddon's image can come to serve as a mirror exposing the illusory constructs one clings to, revealing both personal illusions and broader systemic deceptions. For instance, the keys of the abyss he carries are not only seen as symbols of power over hidden realms, but also as gateways to self-discovery. To unlock these gates means confronting and reconciling with the shadow self, a core component of self-realization and enlightenment in various spiritual paths. Thus, the engagement with Abaddon during esoteric rituals offers a path of enlightenment, albeit a challenging one. Through this lens, the hardships and trials associated with Abaddon's presence are transformed into opportunities for immense spiritual growth. This journey requires courage to face one's inner fears and the resilience to withstand the existential crises that might arise during such profound interactions. As you explore the esoteric meanings of Abaddon, it becomes increasingly clear that invoking such an entity goes beyond mere ritualistic practice. It is an invitation to embody a transformative process akin to the ancient mythological journeys, where heroes venture into the underworld to emerge renewed. Approached with respect and understanding, The symbolism and rituals surrounding Abaddon can illuminate pathways to spiritual truths, encouraging individuals to face darkness not as an end but as a crucial element, leading to illuminated insight and regeneration. In today's world, the archetype of Abaddon manifests prominently in modern culture, echoing the ominous yet transformative power that has been woven through centuries of mythology, religion, and mysticism. Television and film have positioned Abaddon as a potent symbol through which themes of liberation and chaos are explored, marking a stark contrast to traditional, more dogmatic narratives. For instance, in the long-running series Supernatural, the character Abaddon is depicted as a powerful demon, advocating a form of liberation that comes through upheaval and destruction. This portrayal, though fictional, speaks to the resonant anxiety and fascination around the idea of disruption as a path to freedom, a theme that echoes deeply in the human psyche. Video games too embrace the archetype of Abaddon as a formidable adversary and symbol of chaos, imbued with the power of judgment and transformation. In the iconic game Doom, players encounter an environment teeming with demonic forces, with entities akin to Abaddon serving as harbingers of both destruction and change. These games tap into the visceral thrill of confronting the abyss, offering players a space to grapple with their own fears and desires in a virtual landscape, where order must be reinstated through personal heroism and moral choices. The music industry, meanwhile, has also found an avenue to channel the energies associated with Abaddon. Various artists have adopted the themes of chaos and destruction as metaphors for personal liberation in their lyrics, resonating with listeners who perceive their lives as journeys through harsh landscapes towards eventual empowerment. This interplay of darkness and enlightenment underscores a universal pursuit of meaning amid turmoil, where Abaddon becomes not just a symbol of fear, but an icon of spiritual renewal. Beyond fiction and art, Abaddon's presence extends into personal experiences, offering profound encounters that resonate on spiritual levels. Many individuals report vivid dreams or spiritual experiences featuring this enigmatic figure, characterizing him as a judge and a guide. These personal narratives often illustrate Abaddon as a catalyst for significant inner transformation, leading those who encounter him toward a greater awareness of their own shadow selves. In these encounters, Abaddon assumes the role of both mentor and challenger in transitional phases, beckoning individuals to confront and embrace their fears. This process, reminiscent of the symbolic descent into the abyss, requires a surrender to the unknown, a trial by fire where one's preconceived notions and limitations are stripped away. It is in these moments of vulnerability that Abaddon's archetype reveals its true power. The trial is not a form of punishment, but an essential rite of passage leading to spiritual awakening and rebirth. Symbolically, Abaddon's archetype suggests that chaos and destruction, rather than being perceived solely as sources of fear, can forge paths to clarity and enlightenment. It's within this chaos that growth is initiated, a concept inherently woven into spiritual practices across cultures and traditions. For those willing to engage with the energies represented by Abaddon, the reward is often a profound personal transformation, reaffirming the very essence of life as a continuous cycle of death and rebirth. Moreover, spiritual seekers often recount their engagement with Abaddon in practices such as meditation or deep reflection, where he serves as an embodiment of the elements within themselves that must be faced for personal evolution. Here the encounter with Abaddon takes on the form of a confrontation with the darkness within, an acknowledgement and acceptance of what one might otherwise suppress. This confrontation not only tempers the soul, but also provides insight into the intrinsic power of resilience and understanding that lies beneath the surface of one's own being. Through these modern cultural representations and deeply personal experiences, Abaddon emerges not just as a narrative of destruction, but as an enduring, transformative force. He serves both as a symbol of an ongoing personal evolution and a bridge to global cultural narratives that redefine chaos and destruction as tools for liberation and enlightenment. For many, to engage with Abaddon is to engage with the complexities and contradictions of the human experience itself, where fear is transformed into wisdom and destruction into creation. By embracing this archetype, we acknowledge the essential shadows within our own souls, and in doing so, we open ourselves to profound transformation, leading us ever closer to spiritual awakening and renewal. Embracing the changes and transformations that accompany a spiritual journey often feels like venturing into uncharted territory. For many, Abaddon symbolizes this journey's most enigmatic part, an archetype that challenges us to explore the deepest aspects of our souls. Your understanding of Abaddon isn't just an abstract idea of chaos, it's a reflection of that profound shadow residing within, deeply intertwined with both divine wrath and redemption. Abaddon emerges as a guide, if you will, challenging the misconceptions about discerning friend from foe within your spiritual growth. Confronting this shadow, as you may now realize, isn't about battling an adversary. It's about embracing an ally that mirrors profound inner truths. In the grand narrative of spiritual growth, Abaddon appears as a herald of necessary destruction, breaking down the old to make way for the new. This deconstruction might be mistaken for pure devastation, but in true transformation, it precedes the essential reconstruction. Think of a forest fire. On the surface, it's a ruthless force obliterating life, yet it clears space for rejuvenation and new growth. Similarly, within the context of your spiritual journey, the seemingly chaotic nature of an archetype like Abaddon clears the path for a more profound spiritual awakening. Engaging with the shadow embodied by Abaddon means allowing yourself to delve into the darkness without fear, to unveil those parts of your spiritual self that you have silenced or ignored. Acknowledging these aspects is pivotal, for they carry profound lessons about resilience, strength, and inner fortitude. The shadow isn't just a repository of fears and suppressed desires. It's also the holder of valuable insights, empowering you with the wisdom necessary to navigate life's intricate tapestry. Bearing this in mind, the chapter introduces this ritual of the abyss, a mindful, deliberate invocation of transformative energies aimed at purifying and fortifying your spiritual pathway. It's not about dallying lightly with chaos, but rather about consciously inviting these potent energies into your life, letting them prompt introspection and a genuine encounter with the self. The ritual acts as a catalyst, bringing forth the determination and strength already embedded within you, and encouraging an honest dialogue with your innermost fears and desires. While the term ritual may stir ideas of ornate ceremonies, what's essential here is the intention and openness to embrace this profound self-reflection. As you prepare for such a focused endeavor, finding a quiet, personal space away from distractions is indispensable. Create a sacred atmosphere that reflects your personal spirituality. A candle, a crystal, a prayer mat, or simply a quiet corner can imbue the space with significance. Once prepared, allow the ritual to be a conversation between you and your shadow, guided by Abaddon's archetype. Start by contemplating the areas of your life where you feel the most resistance, the situations threatening inner peace or spiritual growth. Visualize the shadow you're confronting as both reflection and teacher, is not merely a challenge but as a guide, pushing you toward insights necessary for your metamorphosis. With each breath, summon the courage and vulnerability to acknowledge these unfaced truths and understand their origin, pain, fear, regret, or unmet desires, and your reactions to them. Scripture and theology often remind us that dwelling within the shadow is the prospect of light and awakening. For instance, Psalm 23 assures us, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." This offers a comforting reminder that divinity accompanies us into the depths of our soul, ensuring the shadow isn't our downfall, but rather a stepping stone to greater inner strength and awareness. Post-ritual, reflect on the emotions and realizations it stirs. Spiritual renewal often follows our willingness to confront the fears we face when standing at the abyss's brink. This renewal doesn't come as a sudden epiphany, but gradually, a persistent unfolding of understanding as you glean the strengths and lessons the shadow holds. In encouraging you to continuously explore the forces shaping your destiny, it's emphasized that the perceived abyss, the trials and transformations it brings into your life, are vital allies. They're indispensable in revealing your true essence, the strengths and weaknesses that make you uniquely you, and guiding you towards the transformative power of spiritual renewal. The journey here is intimate and deeply personal, urging you to reconcile with your shadow, to find beauty and strength in chaos, and to embrace the figure of Abaddon not as a harbinger of despair, but as a catalyst in discovering the latent spirit that has always resided within. Listen to the wisdom it imparts, for your capacity to trust this ally within the abyss equips you for continued growth and infinite self-discovery.